Let's talk a little bit about knife combatives, specifically the Medusa system, which is the core of all my combatives right now. The concepts behind it, the tactics, just fit in with everything I want to do. Now, that doesn't mean I want to stab people. In fact, understanding these sets of combative tactics has taught me one thing. I never want to get in a knife fight. I never want to face the blade, and I never want to use the blade. I train to. I do. I train these skills, but that is not because I want to use them. I want to have the skills in case I ever have to use them, or so I can pass them on to other people, other good people who would have them under control and only use them in the very worst case scenario. A lot of people tell me that people can learn from watching this. However, the way I'm using the knife in these videos is very instinctive. There's not a lot of skill involved. It's just instinctive knife use. It's aggressive knife use. It is, however, very much like an emotionally charged knife blitz and what real knife violence can look like. And this gives me a really good place to train knife defense from, to teach people knife defense from. Now, when you watch me do this, I see a lot of things I got to work on. One is when I'm hitting the pad up high and stabbing towards myself. That is just too dangerous. If I'm stabbing someone up high towards my arm like that, if they move their head or slip, I could end up stabbing myself. So that's something I'm going to change a bit. I'm going to watch my angles a little more. I'm going to be a little more aware. But this is what this is all about, coming up with better tactics, better physical skills, and more realistic ways of using the knife. Now, one thing I don't do here is quick draws, but what I do is use the Medusa system. Shock and latch. Shock and latch gives me an opportunity to get my knife. Shock and latch gives me an opportunity to continue attack. Shock and latch can also give me the chance to overcome my opponent and escape without having to go to the edged weapon, without having to stab. This is the beauty of the Medusa system. It is adaptable to various scales of force. Now remember, the Medusa system is not a martial arts system. It is a set of tactics, and it adapts to the martial arts you already train. However, the ideal of simplicity means that if you are a technique collector, you might want to let that go a bit and find a core of techniques. And that's what I've done. I use a core of techniques that I developed through modern Chimandi and other combative systems, as well as Eskrima and Muay Thai. When I train combatives, I have a very small syllabus of strikes: horizontal, diagonal, and piercing elbows, hammer fists, palm strikes, knees, and headbutts. I'm very cautious about knees because they can leave you vulnerable to having your leg get grabbed. I like to keep them low. Even though you see me kneeing into the body here, I probably would not go any higher than the groin if I was using these in a self-defense situation. It is simply too risky. I will also use oblique kicks and stomps if an opponent is down, or I can stomp on an ankle or a foot. While I still enjoy training traditional martial arts like the Campo 1-2-3 Original, Thai boxing, and Balintawak, about 80% of my solo training is just on a small aggressive syllabus. I don't want to have much else. Just a small aggressive syllabus is all I really want, so I can apply it in a lot of different situations and with different levels of force. There are too many high-level use of force instructors that say that a small syllabus is better under pressure. I believe this is good advice, and even when I watch people who come from martial arts with a large syllabus and I see them fight, I don't see them using a lot of intricate technique. I see them going to the basics and maybe setting up something a little more intricate through the basics. The basics get the job done 90% of the time. The basics are what you need. The basics, I shouldn't call them basics, are the fundamentals. The fundamentals are what you need to train the most. This is what makes pugilistic styles so good, because they focus so much on the fundamentals. In combat sports, once you have a good base in the fundamentals, you can add some flashy stuff, and you should, because you are out to entertain in combat sports. You're not fighting for survival, you're fighting to put on a show. Combatives, on the other hand, are all about surviving violence. In that environment, many things that we do in martial arts are just too risky. I don't even like throwing kicks because it puts me on one leg. It's easy to get taken off balance and be thrown to the ground. The ground is an environment you want to stay away from, and high kicks and things like that just put you at too much risk to be forced into a ground fight. Don't get me wrong, doesn't matter what you do, you can always be forced to go to the ground, so you should have some skill for that environment, but you do not want to go there if you can help it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it went in a few different directions. Have a great day.